Before I make the explanation on this privilege, Mr. President, this motion was not personal. In fact, when I moved the motion and the ad hoc committee was set up and my name was included, I told the Senate President then that it would morally not be fair for me to be on the committee because I'm the mover of the motion. But they said I have to be on the motion. I have to be on the committee. And whenever they call the meeting, as he said, it's either I'm not here, I don't want to say whether it's deliberate or not, it doesn't matter. But as my privilege, up to now, I swear to God, I'm not supposed to even do that. I've not seen the report. I'm a senator. I moved the motion because I have my reason. My people are shortchanged. This is a serious matter. 500 billion was distributed and the other geopolitical zones got only 11%. My own region got only 1%. It's not a laughing matter. It's a serious matter that needs to be addressed.
Chairman of that ad hoc committee that sat on this particular motion is here. He's Senator Sani Musa. And he informed me just now that he has presented the report and the report has been adopted. And what that simply means is, a question we should ask is, have they forwarded the resolution of this Senate to the executive? If it has been forwarded, then further legislative work to be done is for us to investigate what is the status with that particular resolution as passed by the Senate. And if it has not, that means it's an entirely new motion, new report that needs to be prepared and forwarded to the Senate.
When we were deliberating, we included almost every senator from each geopolitical zone. And we have been having that meeting, of which the chief whip have attended that meeting about twice. But the meeting continued. And if you will recall, the time we were about to submit the report, the chief whip, I called you, you were in Maiduguri. And when they submitted the signature sheet to me for that report, you signed the report. Like any other, it was the only report I have seen that all the members of that committee signed. So I'm surprised that we have not seen it, but he has signed it, and it's a document. It's a document. You will see it, and it's not interim document. It is a report, final report, and it has been adopted. It was debated here and passed and adopted.
What you are saying was an anomaly, but you see, on this issue today, the Senate President has already ruled on it. And when the matter is stepped down, it does not mean it cannot resurface. So I want to refer you to Order 63. Distinguished colleague, please read Order 63. The Deputy Senate President, please go through Order 63. Read it out. Now, if you want me to read, I will go ahead. The President of the Senate in the Senate and the chairman in any committee shall be responsible for the observance of the rules of order in the Senate and the committee respectively, and their decision upon any point of order shall not be open to appeal and shall not be reviewed by the Senate except upon a substantive motion after notice. Since I've ruled on it, if you want to repeal, you must come with a substantive motion. This issue is rested.
So when you say you have submitted the report and you ambush people to submit the report only when those are interested are not there. He asked me to sign on to an interim report. I still repeat, I'm not a small boy. You should have given me the report. I have not seen the report. It's a privilege of mine. What are you talking about? I have not seen the report. And the report was so-called said at the tail end of our tenure. We are new this thing. And this is a very serious matter.
What I saw in the social media where a human being was handcuffed and a vehicle passed or was drove on that person is highly inhuman. And this Senate, the highest assembly in this country, must get rid of that matter. We shouldn't leave it to be investigated by the police alone. We must investigate. We can't allow this kind of thing to continue. Those who have hands, the man who drove that vehicle, and those who were around, we must get them and we must investigate this matter. And besides that, we should call on the IG. The extortion going on our highways should stop.
And movement on highways, roads and streets open to the public. Further, notes that Section 49, Sub 1 of the Police Act 2020 as amended empowers the police to conduct stop and search, while Subsection 2 empowers them to search and detain any person or vehicle where reasonable grounds for suspicion exist. Observe that Nigerian police force, which has one of its primary duty to facilitate the free passage and movement of commuters and motorists on public roads, has taken undue advantage by resorting to extortion, intimidation, and harassment of motorists. And worried that the continuous intimidation, harassment, torture that ordinary Nigerians pass through in the hands of these security agencies, especially Nigerian Police Force, accordingly resolves to mandate the Inspector General of Police and heads of other security agencies to direct their officers and men to stop forthwith the extortion, intimidation, and harassment of motorists and commuters.
A 14-year-old secondary school student died, and several others reportedly swept away in a heavy downpour that affected major parts of Shagamu, such as Ajaka, Express Junction, Olayinka, Ogunyowo, and Isale Ojubile. To be further concerned that if the impending floods when the rain really starts in September to November 2023 is not checkmated through proper planning, there could be the danger of a huge loss of lives and properties. And informed that the climate change and the global warming have led to increase in temperature, thus affecting the coastlines, which has resulted in an increase in the volume of water in the sea. Accordingly, the Senate is hereby asked to resolve by constituting an ad hoc committee to liaise with relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to put in place erosion prevention and management mechanisms.
There is a need for a long-term measure that will address the issue of flooding in Nigeria. One of such is the creation of dams, construction of dams to absorb some of these excess waters. Okay? It is also proposed here.
It's not rocket science. We already know that these events will happen, and it has always been happening. Our approach to this normally is always to scratch the problem on the surface, which we do palliatives. We give them mattresses, give them food stuff. But Mr. President, what our people go through as a result of flooding is better imagined. They lose so much money in billions, and most of this money indeed are monies they borrow from banks to farm. Their farmland get washed every year. They lose lives. They lose their house. They lose hospitals. They lose schools. They get displaced completely. And Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, we are aware this will always happen.